Good morning, CSL.
Good morning. Let's do it again.
Yes, let's do it again. You guys are polite people. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. I am so thrilled to be here. I really, really am. Thank you for having me. I think that you, and I honor and thank Reverend Petra. I think you have seriously one of the best ministers in the movement here at your center. So, this is brilliant. And for many of you, like people from my community who don't get outside of your wonderful world, sometimes it's good for an outsider to just come and tell you that you got it good. You got it good here in Dallas. And so I honor that, and I thank you for letting me come and visit you and be in your beautiful consciousness and speak to you this morning a little bit. I love that you also do the Season for Nonviolence. Very important, I think a very important thing that's occurring in the world and expanding and spreading everywhere. Each year it expands. As it was said, I was trained at Agape under Michael Beckwith. I do often get told I pray like him, but I think it's time for me to say that he prays like me. I pray like Mark Anthony Lord. And I love that, just seeing him up there, I'm like, oh, that's my minister. It's a sweet thing. So I am here today to talk about this idea, and I'm going to use the conversation of the Season for Nonviolence, because what I believe is occurring in the world today is an expansion for equality and freedom. And it's not something that's coming. It is literally today. It is time for consciousness. The container has already been prepared. You see, everything happens in thought first. We know this. You have a divine idea, and it may take years for it to move into form. But the moment you have the idea, you have immediately and instantly created the container and the possibility. Everything that you dream of, everything that you desire, when you have a desire to be and do something that expands your awareness, your energy, and your vibration of goodness, that container is immediately created and established in what I would say is the mind of God, the one mind, the field of pure potentiality and infinite possibility. It is just a wave of unlimited good, of which you come from, of which you created out of and as. And when you have a divine thought, it immediately imagines it molding out of and inside of this field of pure potentiality. And it waits for you and your yes to pull it, if you will, from thought, from divine inspiration, into form, birthing and creating all the time. Creating all the time who you are as you are. And we do that on the microcosm level in your own individual lives, and we do that as a collective. We have created our society. Now, you come on the most cutting edge of creation after many, thousands upon thousands of years of creation. And you sit here on the leading edge of creation with your thoughts, your words, and your passion and powers ready to expand it and move it forward. So imagine consciousness through time growing and establishing, and as it's forming and changing, it's taking on collective agreements. There are lots of agreements that we live in. Now, encoded not permanently by any means. Let's not say encoded because that's too deep of a word. Infiltrated into the consciousness of humanity is a lot of fear. That's simply because people forgot who we are. And when we forget who we are, fear comes in. You know, fear, it's not that big of a deal. I used to be afraid of it. Until I realized that fear is really predictable. You know exactly what it's going to do. You know what it feels like. It's going to separate. It's going to attack. That's what fear does. It lets you forget that you're connected. It makes you think you're separated. And then it causes you to protect and attack. That's all it does. That's all it will ever do. Now, fear does have a creative element to it. And don't worry, I'm not going to talk about fear more than I am God. But I just want to set the table here. Fear has a creative element in that it just puts on a bunch of different faces and masks that it wears. And it makes it takes a mask on that looks so much like the ones you wear that it feels personal, but it's actually not. It's not. And I'll go even further. It's not even real, ultimately. I'm not going to say you don't feel it, because I feel it too. I'm not going to say it doesn't have impact on my life at times, because it does. But what I know and what strengthens me in my spiritual growth and what gives me a higher vibration of love in relationship to it is the awareness that it's not ultimately real. It's real only for as long as you place your attention upon it, right? When you're done looking at it, it's gone. It's literally like the light and darkness in the room. If it's dark in the room, you turn on the light and the darkness is gone. Do you know that light does not know darkness? They've never met. They've never met. Every time light tries to say hello, darkness leaves. Right? Same thing with fear. Every time love tries to go, hey, fear disappears. It disappears the same way. You cannot serve two masters. And yet inside of us, let us be real, we do. We've got a lot of different opposing ideas and conflicting agreements. And depending on which one we're paying attention to, that one becomes the one that we believe is true. And then it consumes us, it takes over, and then we switch our attention, and then we have another idea. And sometimes they don't agree, so we feel crazy. And a lot of times you are crazy because you have conflicting ideas inside you. But the opposing ideas aren't ultimately you either. The opposing ideas are simply an experience you're having like waves on the ocean. Sitting at the center is that vibration of wholeness and light and freedom and inclusion that you sing about. And that we over and over, that I would even dare say we worship. I know Science of Mind isn't so into, I don't know if we use the word worship, but I love the word worship. I love it. Maybe that is that agape in me. I love worship. I love giving myself over in praise to that which is good and true. Why not? What was my other option? Right? Right? To whoop up a vibration of so much good that it just lifts my energy field. I'm not even talking about what I'm here to talk about yet. So we're in the beginning of season for nonviolence, and I want to take you back to a time when, well, let me first begin by saying that two of my great spiritual teachers are Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. I love the work that they do. I love that they saw something in the world that was causing separation, suffering, and pain, and they dedicated their life to bring a higher consciousness of love to it. Do you know that Martin Luther King, before they went out and marched and protested against those that were killing them, by the way, before they went out, they prayed for them because they knew they were just trapped in racism. They knew that they were brothers and sisters in heart, and that love was all that was real, but that racism had hold of them. And in their fear, they attacked, and they were afraid. And so they would pray for them before they walked out, so that they would march in a consciousness of love and inclusion. And Mahatma Gandhi sat there in total peace, refusing to fight, refusing to give any support or any resistance whatsoever, to lay down the weapons and to be a space of love and to let everything transform around it. That's the consciousness that these gentlemen and many, many people have given their lives to. And I believe, as I started to say, that now is the time for a new one. And that is the expansion and the freedom, because, as I said earlier, there is a cry for greater liberation in our souls and in humanity. And you know that cry will not stop until we are living 100% in freedom. It can't. You will not be resting or at ease if parts of you are discontent. It just won't occur. You can have some drinks and you can eat and you can sex it up and do whatever you need to do to eliminate the pain for a moment. But when you are still, if you have pieces that aren't connected in justice and freedom within you, they will be irritated. And the same thing again occurs in the world. And so the cry for greater equality has been spoken. It has been heard. And now it is rippling out into the world, and it is happening within the LGBT community, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community. And I'll say allies. And let me explain what allies are. Those are the beautiful straight brothers and sisters who not only go, oh yeah, I love gay people, good luck with that idea. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the allies